If we all believe that relationships are hard work, then this is what we are going to get. Words, the beliefs, the way we think is a very powerful approach to our reality. Several years ago, I said no to this paradigm and I started to invest really deeply in my relationship skills, understanding the underlying patterns, mechanics, blueprints, things at play. And oh my gosh, I realized that most of us invest more into our career than into our social skills. At that point, I had very clear we need something new. So 5 years ago, I founded Modern Couples, the antidote to couples therapy, because I believe that there is a group of people who wants to proactively learn these things much rather than wait until the shit hits the fan. There's a group of people out there, and you are probably one of them, and that's why you're here, who has no time for bad relationships. In this podcast, we talk about inspirational stories, role models, how to navigate the good, the bad, the ugly, and raise the bar, showing up for each other and for love. I speak with experts from different fields that potentially have never thought about how their expertise applies to relationships, but it does. And I share my own entrepreneurial journey. We talk about love, purpose, and growth. I invite you to listen up, not just with your ears, but with your heart. And share your aha moments, because that's what's going to rewire your brain to 10x your love. Inhale together through the nose. Lift the shoulders up to the ears. And exhale through the mouth and relax your shoulders. Shake any tension out through the arms and the hands. Trust that in the next 60 minutes, everything will flow what is meant to flow. And yes. Let's share some inspiring stories together.
Yes.
We are good. We are good. Welcome. Hello, Franzi. Hello, Ted. Good to have you here in my podcast studio.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. For today, it's a very special interview for me. I woke up and started to feel a different form of nervousness because today I have two friends here who are somewhat of, what I really want to see in Modern Couples. It's like my closest, most inspiring couple I have in my bubble. Yes. And I am so honored to bring somewhat of your story into the studio or into our interview space. And Franzi and I actually share almost a decade together, but it was an interesting pathway. Like we went to university together in Maastricht, and then our lifelines just were not the same in a sense. Like we met at university, but we had different lives. And there was a moment, and I do not remember what it was, but all of a sudden on social media, we reconnected. I saw the wedding picture. I got like a glimpse of the story, and here and there I would see like little peaks of how your life would unfold. And I witnessed, living in the US and moving to Germany together, the journey of starting the somatic coaching business. So I more, saw your life. And Ted, I met you for the first time, last year. It was 2 years ago in Germany, very briefly, but actually just here in Ericeira. And
That's right.
I was so curious to meet the partner who is there and discover more of what you built together. So to introduce you, we have Franzi, somatic leadership coach, working with individuals, but also with groups. And I see you as a visionary, as an athlete, inspiring as a mom, as conscious parenting inspiration for me. And we have Ted, serial entrepreneur and coaching high performers. For me, I always saw you as the rock in the family, the enabler to make things come true for all of you. Both of you share the athletic dynamics, the inspiration, the ambition in life, and you have 3 boys together. So parenting takes up a big space in your life, and at the same time, there's multiple, business conversations, business things happening for the two of you. So, a lot to touch up on today.
Yeah.
And maybe we can just start with, I would like to explore a little bit of the pathway from, there's 2 ambitious individuals that fall in love, come together. And I mean, now it's like years later, how did you navigate the world of individual goals and ambitions, merging somewhat together, creating, a life together that has also changed over the course of time, where you lived and what you built, but maybe even going back a little bit, like what has helped you bring the individual goals to a shared life vision?
Wow. Well, I think for me, what comes up are two things. One is maybe a small set of principles, and then the other are life events that we could not have planned for that kind of shook us into a deeper commitment with each other. The principles that come up for me are all pretty related. One of them is the word convergence, which was just kind of a thematic thing that we talked about a lot early on in our relationship, that we felt this kind of cosmic axial convergence, like that our relationship was happening almost against all odds. Like there was so many things in the way of our relationship in the first 2 or 3 years, and somehow the universe just kept helping us crash through those obstacles and become closer with one another. We can get into that if you want. The other principle that comes up has been more recent, which is this vision that I often have of a double helix, that if you have two people on life paths, often what will happen is they meet, they form a pair bond, and then one person gets into a medical school in this place, and the other person decides she wants to be an actor and go to that place, and then the one person's parents have a vision for how their life should go, and they think that they need to please their parents, so they make this set of decisions, and then but you don't understand, and then they end up having this divergent, opposite of convergence, this divergent thing where the way in which each individual wants to grow necessitates, or so they think, necessitates that the relationship develops a chasm. And I think it's a real choice that we've made to embody this double helix, where when we grow, we always make sure that the growth is together. So if I have an opportunity or something that I'm working on for myself, or a dream or a goal that I want to achieve, how does this become something that also brings Franzi and I closer together, and vice versa? And it doesn't mean that we have to do everything together, but it means that our growth strengthens this double helix, so that we're growing together. So I think that's the set of principles. And then I think that there have been so many life events that we didn't expect to so rapidly strengthen our embodied commitment to the relationship, ranging from very early on in our relationship, Franzi's dad passed away tragically, somewhat suddenly, and it really made both of us ask ourselves, like, given the shortness of life, what really matters? What do we want to prioritize? I think we had children earlier than we planned to, and we leaned into that. We embraced it, but that also forced us to both grow up really quickly and prioritize our relationship over everything else, because the best team is what's going to raise the best family. And then I think we've had, because of the nature of us both being young, both being entrepreneurial, becoming parents sooner than we planned, and also navigating several pretty tragic circumstances very early in our relationship, we, I think, we continued to face a higher concentration of obstacles, visa, immigration stuff, visa stuff, new jobs, career pivots, things that people normally do on their own without children in their 20s. we did it all together like while raising a family.
Mid-20s.
In our mid-20s. And so, that you have two choices when you're faced with that. You either, break down and the team falls apart, or you say, hey, like, us being an amazing team is the only thing that's going to get us through this. Mm-hmm. And so what do we need to do to make that happen?
Mm-hmm. There's an element underneath the surface, almost somatically, I think, that I think we both had to experience too. We also went through loss of trust in each other right after my father passed away because of an affair that I had during that time. And I came out clear and open to Ted, and he actually apologized to me that he for not being able to give me that sense of safety and belonging that I needed during that time. And coming from a family where there was a lot of drama, I think that for me was such an opening. It was almost like a completely new horizon that a man could see me that way, that I could be perceived that way, that I'm not broken. And so that was massive. Then there was a moment in your Chicago apartment, in your empty Chicago apartment on the floor, earlier, before my father passed away, where Ted shared with me that his biggest ambition in life is to make an impact and grow this company that he was building at the time. And I said, what are you most afraid of? And he said, missing an opportunity. And I said to him, what if we are the opportunity right now? And I remember him starting to cry, which I've never seen him cry before. Ted is generally used to be someone who didn't cry a lot. And that was like really, that was like our shared opening. I think this sort of like, there was like a huge somatic opening for both of us, of just sort of like, wow, like we're holding a potential shared world in our hands right now. And is this an opportunity? And somehow, through all of the beautiful and tragic moments that we experienced with each other early on, we had this, we always say this at home, like we had this moment of, and continue to have moments of deep belief. We don't always necessarily trust everything that the other person does, which I think is actually really normal. Like, I think we all go through stages of growth that are perceived by the other one of like, what is happening with that person? I love her, I love him, I have deep respect, but like, I cannot fathom what's happening right now. And to still hold that belief that this person is the best person you know. That this person is your person, that this person is someone that you want to go through life with. And it's bigger than trust. There's something bigger than trust, because there were many reasons why we should have not trusted our path, our convergence, our relationship early on. Totally. But there was a deeper, almost cosmic, I think we didn't have that language early on, but like almost cosmic belief in what would unfold. And so against all odds, we're in this incredible relationship with each other, and can give that to our children too.
You give that to your children, you give that to the people around you, to the community that you both have. Like, I see them right by your side, a community that you have through your businesses that loves reading your stories, hearing about your shares on social media and LinkedIn. It's like the community is in awe with also witnessing the ups and downs that you go to, because even here, like, you share very personal moments, but you give context to everyone on how to navigate through it. You think outside of the right and wrong, drama and breakup. There is this commitment to alive together. And you don't shy away of difficult decisions, which is something where I feel everybody is drawn to, of like, oh, wow, in a world full of opportunities, how do you make it work? 3 kids, and really showing and letting us all feel and see the love and commitment that is there. You are not, giving up the love partnership in order to raise the children or show up in business. How do you make it work to have these many hats of, all under the probably the head of we are a team together, but how do you make it work to show up for each other, for yourself, but especially also for the children, for your clients, your community? There are so many people that you inspire, and you seem to have time for, for all the things. You are just navigating in so much grace. I can say that because I witness it now.
Thank you.
And I do see that it has a price here and there, right? Like I do see there is this, but when you show up, you are there, present, focused, and it seems like you never say, I don't have time for this. It's like, if it's a priority, I have full time for it.
What's the price that you notice?
I think sometimes it is, let's say, potential lack of energy, like the body not getting, let's say, the sleep it needs, or, where somebody else would be like, no, I need that sleep, I need that. You are deciding, no, like the other thing will give me more energy, but for a split second, 5 minutes, I am I could really need that sleep, or I need a support. Yeah,
for sure.
That's why we're so committed to our yoga nidra routine.
She leads the way on rest.
Yeah, I start my day that way. Yoga. There's no day where I don't start my day with the yoga nidra.
Can I say something first, or you feel eager? I'll hold it. You go. I can see it in your eyes.
I think this might be just the way I'm constituted. But for me, love doesn't just happen in the bedroom. Love just doesn't happen when we hug or kiss or have sacred time with each other or can be on a weekend away from the kids. Love happens when we build business with each other. I think it's just an extension of who we are. I love some good intellectual romance. Like, I'm all here for it.
This is a psychological love.
This is a psychological love for sure. Like, I could sit with Ted for hours and just explore ideas around, like, for the world, with the world, of just like how we're gonna just show up and create something better and improve the world together. That for me, like quality time for someone whose love language is definitely quality time. Like, I could sit quietly next to you for hours, read a book, and be like, this was a great day. So I think we have to see the moments where love comes through, where we're actually living love and not just thinking about love as an expectation, but as a way of being, as a way of living. And so I created those 3 children with this man, with you. And so they're an extension of our love. And so spending a lot of time with each other as a family is really meaningful to me. For someone who didn't grow up in a family where there was a consistent family dynamic. My parents got divorced when I was 11, 12. There was a lot of rupture before. My parents were never really living in that convergence. It feels like the biggest success of my life to break that intergenerational. I wouldn't say trauma bond, because divorce isn't necessarily always trauma. I think in my case was, but I don't want to project that on everybody else. But intergenerationally, I think it is meaningful to me, and I think many others, to think about, like, how is family also a legacy that I want to leave behind. So I think that's what's coming up for me first. There's more, but I want to give some more to you too.
I will ride on that last word that Franzi said, legacy. I think the two biggest things that come up for me when you ask this question of how do we make it all work, or how do we maintain a healthy relationship, love relationship, relationships with our children, still run businesses and do the things we do professionally. I think it's, for me, legacy and regret aversion. So, so first, on legacy, there's this African proverb, supposedly it's an African proverb, that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. I don't plan to die soon. So I really only have the option of going far. I have no desire to go fast. I actually went fast in my 20s and before my 20s. And I thought that going fast and trying to achieve really high professional success quickly was what I wanted. And I thought that when I would get there, if I would sell a company and get really wealthy, or if I would, achieve some really high status, influential position, that then I would reach the top of the mountain, so to say. And in a sense, I didn't have a big financial outcome, but I did achieve one interesting set of status accomplishments professionally. One being that I was appointed as the youngest advisor to the Obama administration, and the second being that I was listed on this prestigious Forbes 30 under 30 list. And both of those things were things that I would have, that I think if you'd asked me when I was 21 or 22, I'd say yeah, that would be amazing. I would love to achieve that. And I got them and nothing changed. And it was you get to the top of the mountain and then you just see more mountain ranges with even higher summits. You're like, oh, crap. Okay, so what does that mean? And I guess I think what the biggest benefit of having that early professional success was that it relieved me of a striver mindset, that I no longer felt like I had to achieve X by this age or this date. And it helped me start thinking much more in terms of long-term legacy and what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Now, what's cool about having a family, especially when you marry another ambitious person, and not ambitious in the sense of I want to be a billionaire or I want to become a high-ranking politician, but ambitious in the sense of I want to have a grand positive influence in the world. What's cool about that is that all of a sudden you can go much farther together in your legacy if you have a long-term outlook. And you're planting and sowing seeds every day by living your core values and giving as much as you can. So what's dope about this family setup I have now is that I have 4 other people that shape me and I shape them and we all influence each other. But we can build something amazing together. The children that we're raising, the relationship that we're building, I've got a 60 to 80 year timeline in my life, but then if I extend that into my children's lives, that's a pretty solid project timeline. I can scope a lot of output and a lot of accomplishment into that isn't reliant on me alone with my computer, just going to networking events and raising capital myself. And, it's no longer ego driven. It's it's all about the team. So legacy.
Short interruption, because this message really needs to go out there. The quality of your relationships impacts the quality of your life. It is, in fact, the key factor. And here we are, fearing and shying away from commitment, shying away from the emotional work, when really this is what distinguishes us from the machines. Embracing emotions and learning how to embrace differences. So modern couples what started out as this small coaching business has turned into a university, or I like to call it a universe. It is the place where ambitious leaders can upgrade their relationship skills up front. It is the place where couples turn to when they wonder, should I stay? Should I go? Where we explore, if necessary, the graceful path of uncoupling. And it is also the place where we newly introduce bespoke matchmaking for ambitious individuals. If you are interested in any of that, because really every phase of life is an opportunity to grow your relationship skills, check out modern-couples.com. Once a month, there is a free masterclass where you can meet me, where we can connect, as well as if you like more the one-on-one approach, there is a limited amount of free discovery calls. See that you can get hold of one of them, and I hope we get to connect. I look forward to elevating your relationship.
And then the other part, I think, is regret aversion. And what I mean with that is because I have such a long timeline to achieve professional success, work on projects, meet with other people who aren't family members, accumulate capital, add value to the world, solve big problems, whatever it is. I have a long time to do that. I only have about 20 years to raise good humans in my house. And so it doesn't mean that my career is completely on the back burner, but what it does mean is that I will always put my children and my relationship first in sort of small daily moments and decisions, because if my child is crying and really needs his father, or he had a hard day and he needs to go for a walk with me, the email can wait. I can send the email an hour later. I can send the email after he's in bed, but he can't wait. He will remember this every day. There are like opportunities to create formative moments in that child's life, and those moments will have reverberating echoes for decades to come. And the same is true in our relationship. If there have been countless moments where Franzi has woken me up at 2 in the goddamn morning and had some bonkers idea 2 days before her period that is just like that. It's
my wisdom here.
It is the wisdom. It is the wisdom. Yeah. The wisdom is just wrapped up in crazy wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And I am so not ready to receive that wisdom in that moment. But I know that it's important to her to have some canvas to express it onto. And so I listen, or I try to. I'm not always good at it, but I try to listen. And then usually it's pretty generative. Usually something really powerful comes out of those kind of seemingly crazy moments that she wakes me up to share. And I usually don't regret waking up for it, even if it disrupts my sleep or whatever. We usually come together better for it. Now, do I wish she would work on maybe like writing it down and waiting a couple hours? Yeah, I do. But she's gotten better at that as well. It's coming along. It's all work in progress.
Yeah.
So even for her, it's like I could, now is the moment. The email can wait. I can take a nap later if it's truly urgent. If it feels like this is the only chance she's going to get to express something really important as the matriarch of our family, because the rest of the day is going to be interrupted with work and children and all the other stuff.
That's the thing sometimes, right?
That's the thing
like
always.
The big things come up at
you can't plan for them.
crazy hours because the day is full.
You always have to be ready for the conversation.
But it's I don't know. There's something so rich about it. There's something so like fun about it.
Her perspective is contagious.
There's something so fun about just like waking up at 3 a.m. and being like, want to talk about, I just had this idea. And we made some really good decisions during hours like that. So I guess...
Fun.
What comes out of it is just sort of like it's that witnessing of each other, really, like of just sort of like, this is important to him, and this is important to her right now. Like, can I entertain that?
For sure.
And if I allow myself to be in a flow and fluidity with her, with him in that moment, could this also be an enjoyable moment for me? Right. I think so much of partnership is also to just get better at giving and receiving both.
Yeah.
Right. We're all, especially the high performers among us, like the modern couples among us, we all tend to be like high performers and like so good at giving. Give, right? And yet the greatest gift of life, what we always say, the greatest gift of life is to receive, right? You cannot give someone a better gift than to receive them wholeheartedly and compassionately. And even in the crazy moments, right? When you're angry, when you're mad, when you're sad, when you're in tears, like to really be received by someone, there's nothing that beats that. For children, for couples, in business. Right? This is what I praise in my work around somatic leadership all the time. It's like so many of the leadership challenges that we face in this time are because we're too fast to really see each other. And so I think we just we turned that into a commitment of giving and receiving, both. And it's a work in progress. I don't want to make this like a sort of like rosy-eyed kind of like, here's that code that we cracked. Like this was a huge learning process for us. Like we both
still is.
We both We both don't come from families either where like giving and receiving was mastered or anything like that. And, I, for instance, have no problem with conflict. I like dive right in. He does not like it. He had not had a lot of exposure of it. I have 3 other siblings. He has no siblings, right? So we both come from very different environments. But I think what it also shows is like that if you can craft a vision with each other, and if you can like really think beyond where you come from, right, which is such a determinant factor for so many of us. And if you say like, I want to transcend out of that, let's build a vision for each other, with each other, what is possible, what is wanted of us now. Then there's a whole new world, a whole new life that you can create with and for each other. That is not marked by all of the conditioned tendencies, right, that we have because of where we come from, what we experienced, who we are, all of those kind of things. And I think in many ways we got really lucky on a cosmic level to have met each other and to explore a love like that. And that it's possible. And I hope we get to share that with many others throughout our lifetime.
It definitely is inspiring to many, and like the picture while we were both describing, so to say, how to navigate the many hats. It's like it's not even hats you are wearing. It's like you are in this river called life, and you are going with the flow, and like it's like all mixing. Like the things are all one. There is a oneness in what you describe. I feel like I'm no longer. I don't see a hamster wheel. I don't see a box. I don't see the frame of a fixed day to day. Like there is you allow for these moments where a thought comes up, where a question needs to be challenged for new things to form. And I do see how you come up with new ideas of how to live life, parenting, and all things where potentially there's no book there that is guiding you, and there is maybe few role models that guide you on that level, right? And you allow for these ideas to come up. When you allow them to come up, there's also less time wasted resisting or fighting against. Like there's a healthy flow in this. When I arrived, I walked into a very heartfelt moment, and I feel it fits in here quite well.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question was, what was the most masculine thing you ever did in your relationship or showing up for each other?
Yeah, interesting. Well, the background context is Franzi and I were talking about roles in a relationship, the role of a woman, the role of a man, and then also not exactly the same, what is masculine and feminine energy and the balance between the two. What is that supposed to look like in a relationship? What is it supposed to feel like? And so Franzi was saying that she felt like one of the times in our relationship when I was holding or carrying the most masculine energy was earlier in our relationship, when I had my own company, when I was flying around a lot, when she was primarily with our firstborn baby son, when I was determining where we were moving, where we were living, making a lot of these kind of more directive decisions for our family, and she was carrying the brunt of the emotional labor in our family and household. She was like, yeah, you were like really carrying a lot of masculine energy. And then I said, that's interesting, because for me, in that, like, I think that the masculine energy I was carrying in that phase of life is quite minuscule compared to the amount of masculine energy I was carrying in a later phase of our relationship, where you didn't perceive me as nearly as masculine. And most of the world would probably not have viewed what I was doing as half as masculine as what I was doing before, when I was this gallivanting CEO. And this later phase was, it was a set of courageous decisions I had to make to stay at home more, be much more supportive to Franzi, both, I think, in multiple ways. One, psychologically, because you were dealing with some postpartum psychological challenges. Two, taking care of the kids more, staying at home more, because we, by that point, had 3 kids, and you had just given birth to 1. And third, from a career perspective, I kind of took a back seat in terms of, like, I joined another company as an employee, so that I could have some flexibility and stability in my work routine, not thinking 14 hours a day about what I need to do to run my own company. That also gave me the flexibility to help Franzi go full-time on her business, which she had dreamed of building for years, and really lean fully into her passion of somatic coaching for executives. And for me, this phase where I was in the shadows, I was with our children, I was doing laundry at 11 p.m., I was, helping her with her business and playing kind of a household support role. That to me was much harder to do. It required much more courage, and it was a far more masculine decision. It doesn't check any of the boxes for, like, stereotypical masculinity. So that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, from an outside perspective, you were doing tasks that are considered to be more, what a woman thrives in. It's not even that it's necessarily feminine or masculine, and that's what I think becomes quite clear at that, because, like, what was the energy behind it? What was motivating you in that moment to show up in that way? And I think, like, that was the masculine energy, right? Like, I'm showing up for making sure the family is safe, and even, like, showing up to support my wife to live her dreams in that way.
Yeah.
I think what it also gave rise to, and I think we didn't know that at the time, I think we acted upon an impulse of something that we knew was important for our family to gain a sense of new stability and entrepreneurialism at the same time, right? Like, we just had our 3rd child, the entrepreneurial fire was really high, but there was, like, opposing forces, and And I think what we learned through that is like that there was a whole new level of team cohesion and potential, like of really becoming like really in sync with each other. We've heard so many times from others of just like, I can't believe you, like in Germany we used to walk, here we drive more, but I can't believe you walk your kids to school together every single day.
Right.
Why would you do that? Well, that is not time efficient at all. But it's not about the time efficiencies. Like we got to bond with the kids. We got to like sort of like prep them emotionally and energetically for the day. On the way back, we would talk about like what are our to-dos for the day and what's important for the business and check in with each other of how we were feeling. Like there are so many ways of how we've started to fuse through the new roles that we took on.
Yeah.
That we didn't know were possible. And I think if I would now go out and say like, what the biggest lesson of that is to just not be afraid of just becoming, we talk a lot about in our generation in particular, I find a lot about like healthy attachment and unhealthy attachment and, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, I think I would say like, before you look into all the books of what healthy and unhealthy attachment looks like, try to find that out for each other first. Like have your own sort of like feeling into that and then iterate and reverse and, talk about it again. It's like, does this feel good? Does this feel good? No, okay, let's do something else. But like for us, this was really healthy attachment, even though we are still doing a lot with each other, a little less than we used to. But like we partially were fused onto each other because it was such an intense period of our time, of our life. Like we had 3 young boys. There was a pandemic. I was building a new business. Ted was in a new job. It was fucking intense, right? So the best thing that we could have done was to just hold on to each other and go for that ride.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of it.
We kind of laugh through the beautiful chaos.
It was insane.
Not try to hold on to so rigidly.
And I think we really co-regulated each other through that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I never had the feeling I'm in it by myself because my husband secretly resents me for building that business. Yeah. But you were like my co-pilot. And, and we always say like we have those entrepreneurial periods where like I'm building a new business and then like, and then he's building a new business like 4 years later and then I take the bet. So it's like, it's like we kind of like just like support each other as we go and one stabilizes the other in those moments. So
going back to the helix somewhat.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. And like,
absolutely.
I think a key is this long-term thinking of like, what are we able to do?
And what's right for you as a couple and not like all of those ideas out there and like attaching to those, but like, what's your shared nervous system? What's your shared sort of like, what does your system need? What does your family system need? Right? Where do you come from? And as a result, like, what is it that you're here to heal in this relationship? Yeah. Right? It's so much more complex than all those platitudes of like, here are all the things that you need to do. It's like, listen to the people, see what they're working on, what needs to be healed for them, and then be like, okay, so where do we go from here? How do you want to make it work? Be creative. Like, embrace the possibility and choice and love. It's so liberating. So liberating.
Yeah, I think I have a very complicated relationship to social media because it's so easy to see what couples are posting about their relationship and think, oh, like, what am I doing wrong? Even if you recognize that it's everybody's highlight reel, even if you do that, still subconsciously, I think it's, even you're not trying to compare yourself, but you go on these platforms and you see nobody's showing the full mess, right? Nobody. And usually the people who are showing the most glamour have the messiest backdrop. I think I want to share more of this on, with the world. But I also want to be really conscious of contextualizing it as it's complex, right? Like, how do you do that?
How do you do that in a world where attention is the currency, right? And people are not always there to see the whole journey. Or, I mean, even looking into the movies that are out there, movies are also, targeted towards what is our attention span, and that they don't focus on how to have the difficult conversation over the course of 3 years or a lifetime and navigate that. So sometimes it's a challenge between how do I actually share it so that they can use it, while at the same time potentially still being in it, and how do we navigate that?
You're always in it. That's the thing. I think there's like, the more in it I am, the less I feel like sharing, because I feel like I'm not ready. It's unprocessed. It's raw.
Because it's so real.
And it's vulnerable in that moment.
It's vulnerable.
Yeah, so vulnerable. Yeah. One of the best things that my own coach said to me over the last few years that I pretty much apply to any facet of my life is, as a leader in your own life, whether that is as a parent or as leader in your own organization, more like leadership as a way of being, I should say, is to learn how to get out of your own way. And I feel like in our relationship in particular, it was so helpful to embrace that, because it really helps you to not just see yourself and all the things that you come with and that you need, and I deserve this and I need this and I want this, but like really think about the collective spirit that you're holding and how sacred that is and what you want to do with that. And it means that there are very, very uncomfortable moments of like, I am the bottleneck here. I am the one that's potentially destroying the spirit right now. And I need to get the heck out of my own way. I need to say it out loud and say like, I'm not good. And that was really hard for me, because being that vulnerable was not safe for my body for a very long time. We talk about receiving, right? I was never received in that way. And so I didn't know how to give it. And so I think that is so crucial to like just get out of our own way.
Coming somewhat to an end of the interview, I would like to see, an hour goes so fast. I would like to see, so you are in it right now. I would like to explore a little bit more of like, what is the current challenges or topics you are handling right now? Like, what is of interest to you in the here and now as couple that just moved to foreign country, navigating the world of 3 boys, also going to new school, new setting, new people, foreign language. And again, the multitude of how do we show up for each other, for the team. What is something that is currently on your mind that you are tackling?
How much time do we have?
And you don't need to have resolved it yet, right? Like
No.
I
think there's a lot of
a
lot of unresolved things, like in process, in progress, kind of things happening right now.
VIP.
Right. I think for me, I still am integrating that everything that we are currently experiencing is based on choice, and that it's all happening for me. Sometimes our life is so fast and rich and vivid and intense, and it really helps me. I said at the beginning, like I am a avid yoga nidra morning person. Like those moments in solitude, even if it's just 15 minutes or so, really help me to zoom out and regain that like knowing and strength that this transition is happening for us, and that I'm actually creating a whole different branch in our family tree right now. around like where this family is going to go and what the lives are that we're going to live and how our children are going to grow up. And there's grief involved because I think, I'm also holding on to like, will my kids ever experience the childhood that I had with all the like beautiful nostalgia that there also is, right? And so there's a bit of a letting go and a grieving, and in order to make space for the beauty that we are embracing. There are many reasons why we left where we are or where we were, whether that is in the States or in Germany. And I need to remind myself more often that all of this is choice, and that all of this is my life, and that I'm in the cockpit, and that I'm embracing all of this. And that I have an amazing co-pilot that I can wake up at 3 a.m. and talk to about it. And I think another piece through the transition became very clear for me that I want to embrace my maternal energy more again, want to put my business on more autopilot, only show up for my calls, and really just deliver an extraordinary experience for the people that I get to work with, and read, write, and show up for my calls so that I can give more space to him to build, this community that he wants to build of extraordinary men, but also so he can have more of, I think, what he's longing for right now, which is more time in the creation energy, and building something again more proactively, more in the front seat, rather than you sort of like assisting me as my COO and Chief Spirit Officer at Leadership That Heals, which is my company.
I got nothing left to say. She nailed it. That's what's going on.
That's what's going on. Oh, wow.
Me too, baby.
I think we are complete. Thank you so much for sharing your story here with all of us. I am so excited to still see you around and to spend time with you.
Every Tuesday.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Bringing the family vibe back. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much love.
Imagine a world where emotional mastery, relational support, and inner work come before heartbreak, resentment, divorce, reactivity. And you know what increases the odds of your 10x kind of love? Taking people along, sharing this with the people that have the biggest influence on you. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to my channel and share it with 1 or the 5 people that have the biggest influence on you and that deserve the 10x kind of love. Let's raise the bar stronger together.